Thrilled to have this guy on the program. Everybody that we know from the 49ers sings his praises. Thrilled to have here the great fullback of the San Francisco 49ers, Kyle Juszczyk, on the program. How are you, Kyle?
Hey, Rich. I'm doing good, man. Stoked to talk to you. Thanks for having me on.
I'm stoked to have you on. I think this is the first time you've been on, if I'm not mistaken.
I know. It's taken 10 years too long.
Well, I had to wait for you to make your 7th Pro Bowl, Kyle. You know, I have standards.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Understandable.
I have standards. Let's just jump into this. Walk me through your draft day, Kyle. What was that like back in the day?
Oh, draft day. I have a pretty good draft day story.
Okay.
So my agent, he was pretty confident that I was going to be a day 3 pick. You know, he said, most likely you're going to get drafted somewhere in that 4th to 6th round. And I took my chance and I had a draft party, which, it's really rolling the dice when you're a fullback coming from Harvard to host a draft party. But I felt good about it. My agent, Joe Linta, he felt really comfortable with it. So we host a party at my mom's house back in Medina, Ohio, and have all my family and friends over, and really just kind of a dream day. 4th round, day 3 comes up, and we're all sitting in my living room, and I get that call with the Baltimore area code. I talk to Ozzie Newsome first. My whole living room just goes absolutely insane when my name comes across the ticker, and there's a great video on YouTube of it. Just really such a surreal day. That was my biggest goal in my entire life, was to make it into the NFL. So to get drafted was just like, it's hard to even put into words. Like, when I think about that day, I still get choked up. But besides that part of, living out my childhood dream, my mom had bought a meat tray for the party. And everyone at the party ate this meat tray. We had, it was just a local spot that everybody loved. Well, we all got food poisoning that night.
Oh, God.
from this meat tray. And so all my friends, are in town, staying with me, staying at the house. Our septic system broke that night.
Oh.
So we had no bathroom. We all have food poisoning, and multiple friends get their flights got canceled the next day. So here I am, riding on an absolute high, best day, literally one of the best days of my life at the time, best day of my life. And then we all get hit with food poisoning and can't go to the bathroom anywhere.
So did you go to the Ravens the next day, and they're like, "How'd you drop so much weight?" And you had to explain what was going on.
Back then, we had a week until we had to report to rookie minicamp. I don't know if I feel like it's different nowadays, where guys are literally there the next day or so.
Yeah.
But I think I got drafted on a Sunday, and we didn't have to report until the next week. So I had some time to gain that weight back. So,
what was your rookie year like? I don't know the Ravens roster off the top of my head from 2013, but. Obviously Harbaugh was there, and what do you got for me on that front? Who was there? Ray?
So the Ravens had just won the Super Bowl.
Right.
And Vontae Leach was their fullback, and he had just made a Pro Bowl. But after drafting me, they were kind of, moving on to a new, younger regime. And so they released Vontae, brought me in, and I went through all mini camp, OTAs, all that kind of stuff, running with the ones, thinking, I have a chance to come in here and play as a young rookie. And it comes to our first day of pads, and notoriously in Baltimore, the first day of pads was always short yardage and goal line. And so I didn't play fullback in college. I played tight end, but quite honestly, I was a glorified slot receiver. I was a true H-back. I was very rarely in the backfield. So I was still learning the position. And it's short yardage and goal line day. And we have 3 groups, and I'm the only fullback on the roster. And so I go 12 reps in a row on the goal line and coming out of the I formation. And these guys just took a beating on me. Like, safety's coming downhill, 10 yards, full head of steam. They know I'm this rookie. I just got my butt kicked on the play before. They're just going to take advantage of me. And so I just got absolutely pelted for 12 plays in a row to where, like, I had to wear a turtleneck to practice the next day because my neck was so bruised. It looked like I had gotten like 12 hickeys. And I'm not embarrassed to say this now because, like you said earlier, I'm on my 7th Pro Bowl, so I can live up to this. The next day, they signed Vontae Leach back to the squad.
Oh, my gosh.
And literally the next day after that one day in pads, they signed Leach back. And so I was I went back to just being a special teams guy. And so my rookie year, I only played 4 offensive snaps. And the rest I was a 4-phase special teams guy. Jim Caldwell was our offense coordinator, and he really didn't use a fullback all that much anyways. Even Vontae wasn't playing a lot on offense. So that first year was really kind of a redshirt year on offense, and I just had to make a name for myself on special teams, which I ended up having a really good year there. But it wasn't until my second year that we brought in Gary Kubiak as our offense coordinator that he believed in me, and he felt like I could get it done at fullback. He liked the skill set I had, and he gave me a chance past that first day of pads, and I eventually was able to, show what I could do, and, kind of took off from there.
Kyle Juszczyk here on the Rich Eisen Show. What in the world is it like to be a fullback in the free agent market like you were back in the day? I mean, I can't imagine what the hell that was like.
So I've had such a unique career because my experience was definitely nothing like any of the other fullbacks. Because I actually had suitors. Like I had probably 12 different teams that were lining up and giving me offers. This, back in 2017, my first go around as a free agent. And I'm lucky to be in that position because, most fullbacks, that's just not the case. They're happy to be on a roster. But I always tell anybody who's about to go into free agency who, has had a good first 4 years that free agency is the best time ever because you just got everybody telling you how great you are, how bad they want you on your team. You start going through all these ideas with your family. Man, what would it be like to live in this city? What would it be like to live here? Oh, this team's kind of cool. I like what they've been doing. Like you go through all these scenarios. So for me, it truly was a great experience, and I'm so happy that it ended with me being in San Francisco. I remember when my agent told me that they were interested, I'm like, man, if you can just do anything to get them to just match the highest offer from anyone else, I'm there. Because I loved the idea of moving to California, and I loved what Kyle's offense was like. I had just watched them, in the playoffs and the Super Bowl in Atlanta, saw what they did with their fullback then, and felt like I could really thrive in it.
Well, let's talk about Kyle Shanahan. I got Kyle Juszczyk here on the Rich Eisen Show. I'm going to ask something that you're going to have to go through your brain, but again, to your mental Rolodex here and your memory. But you're a Harvard man, so you'll be good with this. What's your favorite football conversation with Kyle Shanahan that made you go, okay, either it was early on, like I'm in a good spot, or you're now several years in, you talk the same language. And what he was telling you turned out to be exactly what happened on the field later on that week. You got a good story for me on that front, Kyle Juszczyk?
The thing is, I feel like I have so many football stories of Kyle. Number one, if you sit in his team meetings, you are just blown away by the football knowledge and just what he teaches the entire room. Like, every day. It's cool now that we brought Christian McCaffrey in because, he hasn't been around this. I've been around it for like 7 years now, so you get kind of used to it. But he sits next to me in the team meeting, and, Kyle will finish up, and he'll just look at me. He'll be like, dude, I could do this all day. This is incredible. He just went through 22 people on the field and told you exactly what their assignment was, how they're supposed to do it, how this guy being out of gap leads to the next guy, opening up a hole. So number one is team meetings are just so much fun. And just, if you're a football nerd, like, you could sit in there for hours and you never get bored. It truly is something special. I've definitely had a lot of conversations like in game about, hey, like we're going to run this play to set up something else. I'm blanking on a good exact example of my own case, but I can point one out. And there's videos of this of we're about to run. It's just like a branch route. It's like an 8-yard out. And right before the play, he tells the ref, he's like, hey, Kittle has an 8-yard route that he's going to break out on in the NFC Championship game against the Green Bay Packers. And he's like, the defender has outside leverage. He's going to grab George when he breaks out. Just be ready for it. And literally, like 7 seconds later, it plays out exactly how he said. Ref grabs the flag, throws it, and it's just like he just called his shot in the NFC Championship. And he does that just on a regular basis. Like in installs during the week, he'll tell you how the defense is going to react. And you go out there on Sunday, and it plays out just that way.
Kyle Juszczyk here on the Rich Eisen Show, 7-time Pro Bowl fullback from the San Francisco 49ers. Why did Brock Purdy work so well last year from your perspective? Walk me through how a guy drafted in the manner in which he was drafted, and we understand the circumstances that got him out there on the field. Why did that work? Why does he work well like that?
When I describe Brock to people, and I truly, like, this is the biggest compliment that I could ever receive, is like, I say he's a football player. Like, the guy has just played a lot of ball. He started, since he was a freshman at Iowa State. So he played a lot of games. And you have, when you're playing that position, especially at quarterback, you just need those reps. You need those live reps, those live bullets, and just certain little things, timing things, natural reactions, they just get ingrained in your head, and you're just not thinking as much out there. You're just reacting. And I felt like that's what he was doing, is he was just going out there and he was reacting. He didn't have to think about it as much, and it sounds so much easier than what it really is. Like, to have the confidence to do that as, the last pick of the draft, rookie, you're the first year in this offense, to have the trust in Kyle to, all right, this is what Kyle told me to do during the week when we did the install. All right, I'm just going to go do that, and I'm going to react. I'm not going to overthink it. And I felt like that's what he really did. He was so well prepared that he didn't have to overthink things, and he really just ran the offense. He didn't try to do too much. He trusted in the playmakers that he had. He's got a plethora of weapons in our offense, and he didn't try to take on too much. He just went out there and he reacted. And I don't know, it sounds so simple, but it's so much harder to do than just say it.
So is this a true competition? Again, it's tough for so many fans to grasp that Purdy did it last year, and he's coming back from that wing surgery, right? And Trey Lance is coming back from his ankle, and the team used so much capital to go ahead and draft him, and he still really hasn't played that much. And Sam Darnold is here. I don't want to put you too much in a position, but from your position, is this a true competition, do you think, at the quarterback spot, where we do not know September 10th who's your starting quarterback in Pittsburgh, Kyle, right now?
I'm gonna bring in a guest speaker here. See if you recognize his voice. He's gonna answer for you.
Hey, Rich Eisen, George Kittle here, out here at Kyle Juszczyk's house in Long Island. And, you've been asking a lot of quarterback questions over my entire career, and the fact that you just keep asking guys is just kind of crazy. Is there any other content out there that people want to know about San Francisco 49ers?
Kittle, you're not still drunk from the Beer Olympics, are you, George?
Great question.
All I know about the Beer Olympics, Rich, is that I won with DeForest Buckner as my partner. Cold 85, baby.
Oh, wow. Well, this is a pleasant surprise. Okay.
Hey, me and George, we don't go far from each other, man. Off season, in season, we're always working together.
Hey, Rich, man, we're in the middle of a nice upper body pump right now, and Kyle's talking to you instead of working out with me. So just let you know that he likes you a lot.
He's not lying.
Oh my gosh, what a pleasure, George. So answer the question: Are you still drunk from the Beer Olympics, or you're finally sober from that?
All I know is this, Rich. I won. Next day, I got a great workout in, and now I'm in New York getting more workouts in, baby. It's just
You
part
are
of the
locked.
The guy he never stops. He never ever stops.
Wait a minute. Are you on speaker together? Are you sharing an iPhone earbud?
Right now, yes. We're in my guest bedroom on the speaker phone, my phone.
It's impressive.
With the speaker.
Okay.
Sharing a little microphone.
I was thinking about calling in, Rich, but I didn't want to interrupt you guys.
But you swooped in just when I asked the juiciest question to @Juszczyk.
I know, but Rich, how juicy is it when it gets asked all the time to every single player on the San Francisco 49ers?
He's got you there. He's got you. He's got you.
Touche.
Right. Look at George Kittle blocking and pancaking me right now. I like it. All right.
Hey, I got weak side pass pro for my guy Juszczyk all day because I know he's got my back. I'm gonna let you guys finish your interview and I'll see Juice in a little bit.
George Kittle, everybody.
George Kittle.
Look at him. All right, what a cameo.
Hope you guys didn't mind the cameo.
No, That's
he said he doesn't work for free.
That's expensive. Wow. All right. Well, do you want to answer the question now, Kyle, or no?
Honestly, Rich, I wish. I can't really say. Like, at the end of the day, it's up to Kyle. And with Brock recovering from his injury, there's not really much that he can't really be in a competition during like OTAs and that sort of thing. We'll see when we get back to get back for training camp how much he can do. But from my understanding, it seems like Brock has the upper hand, and I don't know if that's the official word. At the end of the day, we all have to win our spots when you come into training camp. So I'm sure that'll be the case, and we'll see who can go out there and perform the best when we get back. And I think it's really going to be as simple as that. Brock's kind of the incumbent guy. He finished the season for us, had an incredible year. But like you said, Trey, he hasn't really had a chance to really show what he can do. And we invested a lot in him, and we brought in Sam Darnold, who's been playing quarterback in this league for a while. So they're all going to get their shots, I'm sure, and someone can always wow you, just like any other position. But just kind of one of those wait and see things.
Kyle, this has been a fun chat, even before George cameoed. I appreciate that, and as I always, and Kittle will tell you, I always like to leave my my guests in a better spot. So I'll give you this piece of information that you can use. I don't know if you're aware, but Ryan Fitzpatrick also went to Harvard. I don't know if you're aware of that, Kyle.
Really? Yeah. Nobody's mentioned that in a single interview.
I know that. I know that. And so you could tell Ryan, who by the way went to Harvard, that there's only one human being on planet Earth who scored in the Super Bowl who went to Harvard. Who is that person, Kyle Juszczyk, who did that?
I think that was number 44.
In your program, number 1 in your heart. Kyle Juszczyk. Fantastic. All right, go back. What was it again? An upper body. What do you?
What do we lift?
What do you call that?
Upper body pump. It's Friday.
Okay.
We gotta look good for the weekend.
It's upper body pump Friday. We need to start doing that here.
That's a high.
I don't know if we're really up for that,
name,
quite frankly. Thanks for the call, Kyle. Really appreciate it. Let's do this more often. Greatly appreciate it, man.
Absolutely, man. I'm full of stories, so you have to get me back on.
Done. Absolutely. Well, look for my call in training camp. Thanks for the call. You take care.
Sounds good, man.
Kyle Juszczyk, everybody. What a fantastic maiden voyage here on the Rich Eisen Show. Right. And every time he calls, we've got to get a cameo, right?
From somebody.
That Kittle cameo came out of nowhere.
Boom. Long Island.
Wow.
Because that last time I saw him, he was beer ponging his ass off in Tennessee.
Right.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.